Came back to do a little work on the car. Yesterday I didn't have much space on my phone, so I had to make some memory storage, and come down here and kind of just, only thing I did is just beat the sharp edges in from my little boy if he was to be around it or anything. But as you can see, this isn't really what took me out. I had that in there. It was a quick stick welding job to put a little piece of angle to try to keep the strut from bending. But as you can see, right where the rim came in underneath that dish for the spring and laid over, my axle's still good. It didn't like much pulling the axle out, given that I didn't have all thread, and they kind of threw this derby together. So there was no inspection. If I'd had more metal, a little more time when I found out there wasn't no inspection, I could have did that a little different. It was just something I was trying to do to keep the bumper from going downward with as heavy as it is, and lack of plating. But as you can tell, that would be the fender that was folded down. That's like the corner of the fender, and then under here, as you can see, my frame buckles right there. This is some of the worst damage on the car, but I'm going to work on pulling all that out, and of course all threading it and putting some plates, looking for ideas to build a strut for the front. I know I can pull that out and try to do my best on welding it up. It's just going to bend right where the weakness is. But overall, pulling that out, my cage bar was up a little high. As you can tell, they went right in under the cage bar when they hit me. There's a 2-car coming in impact at once, so it kind of just warped the whole car. It actually pushed in on my gas tank protector, which, as you can tell, it ain't the best in the world. It's just some thin angle iron and fence post just for a little bit of safety measures. And then my halo bar was welded in with some square tubing up through there. Had 2x2, but I went in behind it with some 4x4 angle, which still ain't enough. Back here I had it somewhat, as you would say, wedge beat down and then notched, and had hit this car right there in the driver's door, or right in here somewhere it wouldn't affect it, and where I knew it was good and stout, and got this bumper kicked up before we even started. And that surprised me, because that was a dead lick, what I call anyways, when you're sitting still trying to do something and someone just plows you. So it was a good rear to rear shot. It literally knocked my helmet in the back behind my gas tank, and I was trying to get it back on. The officials did not stop the derby for nothing. They were playing on their iPhones or something, because between the helmet thing, me trying to get my helmet back on, once I got it back on, was chasing them down. I ended up getting cornered, and it was 3-on-1. You can tell by the bumper there how she's straight and narrow still on this side, and then on this side she's kinked. But it's nothing I can't lay some flat stock over, patch it up after I pull it out, beat it in. Still runs like a top. Header cover. But I'm actually not going to crank it right now. It still runs good. It was dropped off here after Derby night, and I was able to back it over there with the other tire like this on it, which is what I ran on my Lumina last year, which is radial tires, just tubed, and I cut treads and left treads on the inner and outer. Shout out to Demolition Missions. It was doing a video about that, and I've ran pulling lawnmowers, so I kind of got the concept. Got a osculating tool, like for several things, but it works great with that. It's a little time consuming, but all in all, fixing to start working on. I'm getting this corner beat in and try to bring this side up a little bit more. Thinking about cutting that back bar out. I'm not for sure. Probably just see how far I can go down with the dish before I cut that bar out. But it's either going to have a bar from the halo back down, or I may just run a chain from that U-bolt down to the bumper or something and let it ride. Just going to patch it up to finish it off. Could really be a lot tougher of a car if I had a MIG welder and the money to throw into the metal, but it's been hard times for everybody. I was wanting to pretty much junk this body and try to keep the motor in shape, because I'm wondering if anyone knows out there. I want to do my measurements and stuff today, but I don't expect to use that engine cradle, the K-frame from this. But I had planned to try to see if it would measure up. This is a 98 Lumina, W-body of course, and it's not hurt. I mean, they come in on me last year right there with a pointy, because I didn't know we were allowed pointies, and I was just running a square tubing with crush boxes. So now that I'm back in the compact world, I'm learning things as I go. This was just for a hometown derby that does not pay much prize money, and this one is something I'm working on building. I want to make sure I know the rules and know where I'm running, so I've really just stripped and been working on wiring and stuff. Like this bumper is loaded, but was the stock bumper for the Celebrity, so that's just strapped up there so I could push and pull some cars the other day and trucks. But just wanted to do a little aftermath video, a little more detailed, to show you guys. The one that I have from yesterday is real short. It just kind of walks around. As you can see, came in pretty good. Let me